Ọhaneze ndị Igbo ekene m n'ụbọchị nke taata na ekene Igbo niile ekene ihe na-ejele Igbo ozi na unu nwere vidiyo a ji wee bịa nke mgbe gara aga bụ vidiyo nwatakịrị a na-akpọ Chizi nke nwụ na Anambra State Hotel dị na Anambra State. A na-akọwa na ndị mmadụ tiri ya ihe, a na-akọwasị na n'onwekwa ihe mere. So kịta ihe a bụ an eyewitness, ya vidiyo an eyewitness the whole incident ka o si wee bido ka ya bụ ihe to his own best knowledge ka ọ na-akọwakwanụ. Mgbe na-asị na igecha this eyewitness ntị na-ama na nhasị pụrụ izu ya kpụrụ ya mana I believe nnọọ ihe niile abụ ihe ekwu ọpụ, mana amaghọkwa m ọsọ Chukwu nna ma maka na onye nwụrụ anwụ adịghị ekwuzi ya okwu. Nhụ onye ya kpọnite ya ajụwa ya sị ya gịnị mee ha manage ka iju ya dakpie na pool, because a na-akọwakwa na the girl gbarịrị ọsọ mgbe a na-eti ya eticha ya ihe, a na-achọzi ya ka etigbukwa ọgbala ọsọ jije zozi ya somewhere. What happened ebe ahụ? Mgbe na-akọkwa why can't the hotel management tii gate na that place, that abandoned swimming pool ahụ sị na ọ dị abandon, why ha etinyeghị gate ebe ahụ? Ọ ekpochie na ekpuchie were alụwa ihe ọzọ? So many questions are left to be answered. Because again, eyewitness and know regarding that incident, man.
Here at Cosmilla Hotel, this is Full of Anambra. We're here to report about the trending news about a club goer, one Chizi, that the dead body was seen at the abandoned pool here on Monday morning. So we have a witness that was in the club that very day, one of the club goers. He was here in the club that very day. So please, let's hear from him of what he actually witnessed. Please, go ahead, please.
Witness, everyone. It's very sad that Chizi is gone. May her soul rest in peace. But the annoying fact here is I don't understand why whenever a bad news like this comes up, both friends and enemies alike will begin to spread the news like bloggers, and just as long as it's a fake news, they will spread it regardless. Nobody wants to know the facts of what happened. Nobody asks the right questions. Everybody is spreading it, and it's uncalled for. Now, I was in the club that day. The organizer of the party happens to be my friend as well, and we're all there that night. Now, the party was more like an unveiling of a clothes brand, a new clothing brand that this young guy has started. So he wanted to promote it. That's why he organized the party where all his friends can come in and see that, okay, this guy is starting a new clothing line, and they can wish him well and celebrate with him. In the midst of this celebration, his friends, his well-wishers were gifting him money by spraying him in the club, which is what normally goes on in the club, as everyone knows. This Chizi happens to be one of the girls that usually goes around in different clubs and picks money. So many of them have even taken that as a usual routine, a job. Every weekend you see them in different clubs, especially when there is a big party that they hear of. They are always there in that club. So now, she happens to be one of these girls around that picks money. And that particular night, there were measures taken to even reduce the amount of girl pickers that will be in the club. There was a measure taken that the club manager had to make sure that any girl that wanted to come into that club that night will pay 1,000 naira. Just so that some will be like, I cannot pay 1,000 naira, they will go home. And to an extent, it worked. But to an extent, some of them still paid and came inside. Now they were picking money and nobody really disturbed them. Only that if they're getting close to glasses and bottles, the bouncers will tell them to move or push them to another side. Now what actually happened was the organizer of the party himself was having a good time with some of his friends, and then a friend of his wanted to appreciate him for organizing such a party and opening a new brand. Now he wanted to spray him a wrap of money. This wrap of money is a total of 200,000 naira if you calculate it, because it's 200 naira mint, but a full wrap is 10. That makes it 200,000 naira. But he didn't want to start spraying it because he knows if he sprays the 200,000 naira, the set of persons, the set of girls that were specifically organized to pick money for the event organizer, maybe they will end up picking 50,000 or 100,000 out of the 200. So he didn't want that. So he took the full wrap and gave it to this guy organizing this party. He gave it to him in his hand and just gave it to him and told him congrats. Now he collected this money and he looked directly beside him, and there was one of the girls that he appointed to be picking money for him. And he gave it to the girl. Say, keep this money. Now that girl collected it and put it inside this black dustbin bag. This black dustbin waste bag. It was used to be picking money for him in the club. So he gave it to her, and the girl just carried it and put it inside. Immediately she was putting it inside the bag, the cheesy girl rushed that bag, took her hand in it, even tore itself in the process, took her hand in it, and took exactly that full wrap of 200k. Now there is nobody that will not be pissed off by this actual act. There is nobody that will not be annoyed with this attitude, because that's stealing. Immediately they noticed this, they got angry, and then yes, she was slapped. That's what anybody that steals anywhere, if you steal, they will beat you. But in the process of wanting to beat her more, people held him back, and she ran away. She ran out of the club. Even bouncers wanted to chase her. She ran out of the club. Now the guy having the party now left her, relaxed, and then it was now his friends that came out. Some of his friends came out to look for her because she's still with the money. In the process of looking for her, they looked for her all over this compound and they couldn't find her, which means that she was good at hiding. And from the CCTV footage, it was seen that she was hiding behind cars, because there were a lot of cars in the compound space that day, like a lot of cars in the compound space. So probably she was very good at hiding amidst those cars, that those guys didn't see her, and then they walked back to the club. The party continued. Everybody was happy in the club. The party continued. I'm sure as at that point, the guy having the party self had even forgotten about the money. Let it go, because to an extent it's more than it, but his anger was, why will you want to steal this kind of big money, whereas others are picking the ones on the ground? You want to carry this full wrap. Now in the process of hiding, she felt like the hiding behind cars was not enough, and she ran into somewhere she felt was more enclosed. Unknown to her that place was an abandoned pool site. Unknown to her, and then she fell into the pool. Now there is no sign of any other person going into that same pool area with her, meaning that she must have gone into there with the rush and everything and fell into the pool. Now she probably cannot swim, and the way this pool is, the water is still deep to an extent, because it has not been fully covered. So probably she has fallen inside there, and no matter how she's trying to shout or whatever, people might not hear her, because this is a very big compound space. And now they are saying that people beat her all the way from the club. Like it's not even making any sense. All the way from the club, people will beat her. Like, okay, people were at the bar that day drinking, and nobody saw them carrying a body or beating somebody. How? Why are people spreading fake news? Why are people spreading fake news? Now the organizer of the party is in prison for doing nothing, only for defending his money.
Okay, take us to the pool. You don't need to show your face now. Just be talking, okay? All right. So let's see the pool. Then from the pool, then from the pool. So just be explaining. So,
okay, this is the pool. This is the pool now. I'm sure that while hiding, she must have sneaked in here. It was dark. There is no light facing inside here instantly. So she felt like everywhere was still leveled ground. Just as she entered, she must have felt everywhere is still a leveled ground. And while trying to still probably maybe go enter more distance to hide, she fell into the pool.
okay. So let's see. This is the pool. Okay, let's see the distance between the pool to the club. Okay, so please let's walk. So you'll still be explaining.
very, very far distance, and yet people are claiming that she was beaten all the way from the club and then dragged her dead body to the pool.
This is where you say photos were packed.
Yes, there were a lot of cars parked here that day, and now the camera footage shows she was hiding amidst these cars.
Okay.
One of the funny statements out there on one of the bloggers I saw was that even the club manager
had to put off the lights. I'm like, how?
How?
Which light? And that he told the bouncers to stand down.
You said that according to the news, what happened? They said what about the manager?
According to the news, they are saying that the club manager was there and he supported the whole beating, that he had to even off the club lights for them to beat the girl very well. And then he told the club bouncers to stand down and not involve themselves.
Okay, this is the distance we've walked. This is the distance so that you can see the distance. This is the distance we've walked. This is the distance we've walked. So we'll keep walking to the club now.
Okay. Now see all the distance. There is always the security, at least 2 every night at this gate. And how can they tell that none of them saw people dragging a body? And it's not like Chizzy it's not like she's a slim, small person that you can carry and nobody will notice. She's huge.
Avoid people's faces.
She's huge.
So this place
this is the bar.
very busy.
This is the bar. And it was as busy as ever that night. People were all over the place drinking. And there's no other route to that poolside except here. Definitely, if she run and pass here, nobody would be bothered because she just ran and passed.
Okay.
But if they now see people actually dragging a body, people will react and ask questions.
Okay, thank you very much. So this is
the club. Now this is the club. This was where the party happened. So how can they say somebody dragged, a group of people dragged a dead body of a huge girl all the way from here to the poolside without being noticed? It's not even possible. It's not possible. And even if they did, why wouldn't they have removed all the money that she stole? Why wouldn't they have collected the money she stole? Whereas when they saw her corpse, the money was still with her.
When the moons and more because no one in the video and I can subscribe on our notification on our which on na subscribe on this channel and share one of these posts. Kamana and Dozo Ayejia where Molly and Oki Jaba no one and aga a Kalipana Makana Bulozo Nozo or the car Ebu Kunko Bikon do when I squat ndị nne na nna ka ụmụazụ unu na-enye accountable ebe ha na-aga ka ụmụazụ na-enye so ga another person can under your care, let that person na-enye gị accountable ebe ọ na-aga. Ekwuchakwa m ka ọha m nọ n'ụbọchị nke taata, biko anyị enwenụ mgbe ọzọ.